From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the September 27th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Bridget Williams.
And I'm Katie Perley. We're proud to be bringing you coverage of Carolina news and events.
Balancing budgets can be a never-ending challenge for college students. So can staying in touch with your very best friends. Now, if you live off campus and have to pay to call your friends in the dorms, it gets all the more expensive and complicated. Carolina Week's Christy Fair explains.
When Robert Rita misses the call, it costs him and his business.
I work from home, and so does my wife. We both work from home. We have 5 telephone lines that come into the house.
And sometimes it costs him just to make a local call because of his location. Bell South covers most of Chapel Hill, while GTE Verizon covers Durham and some residents along Chapel Hill's eastern border. Now here's the problem. This phone is under Verizon's Chapel Hill plan. This phone's under Verizon's standard plan, but it would actually be cheaper to make a long-distance call than cross services. So calling Charlotte costs less than calling a second phone in your own house. Residents here have 2 options: get a Chapel Hill 408 number and pay a toll for Durham calls, or stick with GTE Verizon and pay a toll for Chapel Hill calls. Either way, you pay. Residents say communicating with GTE Verizon doesn't work, so now they're talking to City Council. But that might not solve the problem either.
The local government can't tell the phone company to go in and you provide good customer service to those citizens.
GTE Verizon says it's working with its customers. So until the phone companies or the service boundaries change, Rita and other residents will keep calling and spending on their own dimes. In Chapel Hill, I'm Christy Fair, Carolina Week.
The Chapel Hill Town Council continues to work with residents and the phone companies to resolve the problem. Orange is quickly becoming Chapel Hill's least favorite color. Construction on West Highway 54 continues to slow down traffic. Both the inbound and outbound lanes are lined with orange barrels, channeling cars down to one lane. 54 is expanding with new asphalt, creating additional lanes leading to the city on the hill. The construction zone runs from the Friday Center all the way to the I-40 entrance. There's no word about when 54 might finally open up.
It isn't unusual to see hundreds of UNC students in line at the Dean Dome, but this time it wasn't for basketball tickets. Recently, the Smith Center housed the Carolina Career Fair, organized by University Career Services. The fair featured representatives from more than 100 companies and organizations. Many students arrived wearing suits and offering polished resumes to potential employers. Company reps offered informative brochures, and some even handed out candy. The event was the final of 3 career fairs sponsored this fall by University Career Services. You can make sure the work of your favorite teacher doesn't go unnoticed. Nominate him or her for a teaching award. The awards are given annually to teachers to recognize outstanding teaching. There are 6 different awards, and winning teachers receive money and recognition for their hard work. UNC biology student Jeffrey Harless says that he likes teachers who make learning a priority.
Someone who is, obviously very knowledgeable, easily approachable, and, facilitates thinking in their classes. It promotes learning as opposed to memorization.
If you have a teacher who you'd like to nominate, it's not too late. Nomination forms are available in the libraries and online. You can drop them in the ballot boxes in the libraries or send them in by computer. The web address is www.unc.edu/teachawards. Nominations are due by October 2nd at 5 p.m.
The Animal Protection Society of Orange County has the highest adoption rate in North Carolina, but I recently discovered that the organization has plans to save even more potential pets. Adoption rate nearly 3 times the national average, the APS of Orange County has something to be proud of, but folks here are working too hard on improvement to gloat. Susan Hogarth says with a new shelter in the works, there's lots of fundraising to do.
The volunteer team is very shortly going to announce the major thrust of the fundraising campaign. We're going to have a 3-year pledge drive to get the funds to build and operate the shelter.
Animals can stay at the Chapel Hill shelter for only about a week, or until there's no more space before they have to be euthanized. APS board member Jim Kramer says the new shelter will give animals more time.
It'll turn out to be an extension of the animal shelter. We'll be able to shelter the animals whose time's up at the regular animal shelter here until we can find someone to adopt them.
The new shelter will be built here at the Felicite Latine Animal Sanctuary located in western Orange County. The 47-acre sanctuary is one of the premier animal facilities on the East Coast. Features include a dog park and training center and the Wildlife and Domestic Animal Rehab Center and Clinic. Clinic manager Dr. Bobby Shopler says the new shelter will allow expanded wildlife care.
We'll still be doing surgeries here, but we'll have fewer dogs and cats barking next to birds that are trying to recuperate and things like that. It'll free up space for doing more wildlife.
The APS plans to start construction of the new shelter next winter. If you'd like more information about the new APS Adoption Center, contact Susan Hogarth at 919-967-8323 or email her at susan@animalprotectionsociety.org.
When you think of student health, you probably think of the flu or the common cold.
Well, we'll tell you why vaccinations of a different sort are important to your health when Carolina Week returns.
The steps of Wilson Library receive no sunshine on early winter mornings, so it's chilly there if you don't have that double-shot caramel espresso. Surrounded by forever green magnolias, the steps are a fine place to study, or at least pretend to, while you watch a border collie chase a frisbee in the quad. No one knows the real Carolina like a student. Carolina Week, the student news show.
What is United Cerebral Palsy? Therapy and education. Employment opportunities. Independent living. Family camp. United Cerebral Palsy. Building bridges to independence. You see people, we see promise. Call 800-868-3787.
It could save you more than $100 and possibly save your life. Men between the ages of 50 and 70 should pay close attention. Recently, doctors met with more than 300 patients at the annual UNC Hospital prostate cancer screening. Prostate cancer is the most common disease in America for men, but you can get checked for free. You can call and make an appointment or walk in. The screening includes filling out a simple form, getting a blood test, and exam. You'll have another chance to get a free prostate screening the 3rd week of October. Doctors are preparing to give screenings to more than 3,000 men at the North Carolina State Fair. Bacterial meningitis is another health concern. It can be a serious disease for college students. The infection took the lives of 8 college students in the U.S. last year because its flu-like symptoms can be easily misdiagnosed. Student Health Care Services did its part to make sure that meningitis doesn't strike UNC students by making vaccinations available to all students earlier this week. The simple vaccination only required that students show up and fill out a short card. After one quick shot, they were immunized for life. Students who received the vaccine were given a well-deserved reward afterward. The vaccine for the potentially fatal bacterial infection cost $65. Good news for students, though, the bill went straight to their parents. Student nurse T. Renee Pouliot says most students don't know that the danger that bacterial meningitis can pose.
We feel that it's important to prevent the spread of meningitis. And so even though the vaccination costs $65, if you're in the risk group, it is important to go ahead and get the vaccine to try to prevent it.
If you missed the vaccination drive, you can still get vaccinated anytime at Student Health. Also, Student Health Services will be sponsoring flu shots in the SRC next month.
Every year, UNC pays special attention to the parents of its student body. That attention plays out in a variety of ways here in Chapel Hill. Parents were encouraged to visit Chapel Hill for the weekend and spend time with their children. Special events were held this year at Tar Heel Town, UNC's official, family-oriented, pre-game party place. The sound of oldies was in the air to entertain the crowd that had gathered before the Marshall football game. Parents weren't the only ones having all the fun. Kids also got a chance to play some games and enjoy the festivities. UNC-Hillel opened the doors of its new building for the first time in honor of Parents Weekend. The new facility stands on the same site as the former Hillel building on West Cameron Avenue. That building was demolished late last year. The new building is twice the size of the old one and is designed to be a flexible and comfortable student space for worship, study, and socializing. The new building should be completed by November. The dedication will take place early next semester. The music department's annual Spectrum concert gave parents in town for Family Weekend a chance to see their music major offspring in action. A brass quartet puffed out music between acts. Singers harmonized, and percussionists rang out their melodies during an evening of colorful music variety.
The Carolina Athletic Association is getting ready for basketball season. This year, the group is hoping to make students a bigger part of the action. Michelle Muscatello shows us the CAA's first event.
Carolina basketball fans dunked, dribbled, and passed Saturday in the first Carolina Athletic Association 3-on-3 basketball tournament. The Dean Dome court filled up early as 18 teams competed for a chance to play Coach Daugherty and his staff at Midnight Madness. And that's not the only prize. Each member from the winning team also gets a ticket to the Duke-Carolina basketball game. The CAA sees this year's tournament as a learning experience. Greg Rocco is the director of the CAA. He's happy with this year's turnout and hopes the event will continue to grow.
I could see this really blowing up. Given a lot more time than last year, we could get sponsors out here like Nike, and we could have a lot more infrastructure for the tournament, a lot more teams. We'd like to expand it to 64 teams and make it an all-day event. But you got to start somewhere, and this is the start.
The CAA is hoping to make this a big event that students will recognize and look forward to in the years to come. Coach Daugherty gave the CAA the idea for the tournament from a similar event he did with students at Notre Dame. The tournament is designed to let Coach Daugherty and his staff get to know some of the Tar Heel fans. But that's not the only reason these students paid to play.
Duke tickets. Definitely Duke tickets. The Duke tickets and just getting to play on the Smith Center floor. I like that.
The winning team from this tournament will be taking on Coach Daugherty and his staff on October 13th at Midnight Madness, now called Late Night with Coach D. In Chapel Hill, I'm Michelle Muscatello, Carolina Week.
Saturday's winners will have main floor tickets for the Duke-Carolina basketball game in March.
If the weather this weekend still has your plans up in the air, stay tuned to Carolina Week.
Carolina Week Scott Jackson will let us know if it will remain nice enough for hanging outside when we return.
UNC-TV brings you the best seat in the house, yours.
Hey Mark, where are you going with your piggy bank? I'm going to give my allowance to the Interfaith Council. Why? Mom says they help people, and they need our help too.
The Interfaith Council helps adults and children through job training, family support, and education. They can't survive without community support. Every donation counts.
I want to help too.
Call the Interfaith Council at 929-6380.
getting kind of cool out there.
I know, I'm getting the
Right,
jackets
guys.
out and the
I don't know if
sweaters.
you've noticed, but it looks like fall is definitely here to stay. And in fact, we have a weather question that deals with that. We have, what causes the leaves to change in the fall? And the answers are A, cooler temperatures, B, less daylight, C, increased soil moisture, or D, pull from the moon. So you guys can think about that one while I go do the weather. When I come back, I should have an answer for you. All right, weather outside today, well, looks like it was nice, and a little bit everyone was able to break out their winter or fall clothing. As the people walk down the sidewalk, we see there's everyone. And if we go ahead and take a look at the surface map for there we go, there's a cool front moving through, and the key to all of our nice weather is this high pressure system, and that's going to stay in place and bring us very, very nice weather over the weekend. And as the cold front moves through, high pressure, and if we go ahead and look at the 4-day forecast, we see 70 and a warming trend towards Monday and lows overnight. So in the 40s, so you may want to break out some cooler or some warmer clothes. All right, and if you're heading to the beach, we see breezy. Anytime you have a high pressure system set up and you have low pressure off the coast, you're going to get a big pressure gradient. The winds are going to be blowing off. So if you're going surfing, it should be good weather for that. And to the mountains to check out the beach, to check out the fall change in the leaves, we see highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. And of course, we have the game day temperature, and we see for kickoff Saturday, we have a temperature of 72 degrees as the Yellow Jackets and Tar Heels square off for the big football game. So guys, do you have an answer for that question?
Soil moisture.
No, actually it has a little bit to do with it.
The moon, does it?
The moon, no. Actually the answer is B, less daylight. As the daylight decreases, less chlorophyll is produced and the green goes out of the leaves. So there you go, there's your answer.
Hope my houseplants will be okay.
Great, yeah. All right, well, we're back from the UNC football blowout, and UNC chalks up a W.
Those highlights are just ahead, and you can make it happen if you have a Tar Heel type determination like one of these swimmers has. You'll meet a hopeful Olympian when Carolina Week continues.
I need a break.
Yeah, well, what I need is a little peace and quiet when I come home. I've been working hard all day.
You have got to do something about that son of yours. I can't stand it anymore.
Well, maybe if you were a better mother, he wouldn't be such a problem.
Better mother? When do you ever spend time with him?
Family Counseling Service of Durham. We can help. Call 286-3757.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We have ignition. We have liftoff. Join the next mission aboard the Moorhead Planetarium. For more information on Sky Rambles, call 549-6863.
Well, it's great to see our team winning again.
Yeah, we gave it to Marshall this past weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, it's nice to get a win under your belt after what happened in Tallahassee 2 weeks ago. The outlook for the rest of Carolina's football season improved dramatically with the victory against Marshall. The Thundering Herd found the end zone first with this Byron Leftwich pass to Darius Watts. As you can see, Ramsey's not pleased with that action, but Carolina struck back. Ronald Curry finds Bosley Allen for this TD bomb. Curry passed for 292 yards and 2 scores. Then Carolina shot the lights out, or insert lights out joke here. Then the Tar Heels leading 20-15 with 7 minutes left in the ball game. They hold on to the ball for the rest of the way using a breakthrough running game led by freshman tailback Brandon Russell. Carolina goes on to win by the same score and improves to 3-1 in the season. Brandon Spoon says this says a lot about this team.
We offer, we're a very good team. To be the quality opponent like Marshall, to come in here, for them to come in here, we play very well. And I think it just helps this program out a whole lot overall.
We've seen some top athletes compete for the gold in the Olympics. But what about those who barely missed the chance to compete in Sydney? Carolina Week's Iona Banks has the story of one UNC swimmer who almost made it.
Field in lane 8, Sean Quinn, 19-year-old All-American in this event from the University of North Carolina. But
just 2 months ago,
UNC sophomore Sean Quinn competed against the country's best breaststroke swimmers in the Olympic trials. Although this was one of his best performances, it wasn't enough to earn him a trip to Australia. But Quinn says the trials meant a lot to him, even if he didn't make the Olympic team.
I was very happy because, I won a best time, and I obviously should be happy about that, but the fact that I was 5th and you have to get 2nd to make the Olympic team, it's kind of heartbreaking to think about it in the long run. I have to wait 4 more years for another chance, the opportunity.
Although Quinn's emotions are mixed about his trials performance, UNC swim coach Bill Trammell says Quinn will have other opportunities.
We knew we had something when we signed him. To expect that he would have gone 157, I think that was a little bit of a surprise. I really think he's just cracking the tip of the iceberg.
Quinn has 2 more years to perfect his stroke. What will he be doing in the meantime?
Right now my major is communications, and not exactly sure, but right now I'm thinking maybe I want to go into PR or maybe media relations.
But his coach is sure Quinn will give his best to the university before he leaves.
The one thing that I see in him as a character is how much of a Tar Heel he really is and how much he loves this university.
Quinn's love for his school and his swimming ability are enough to make Tar Heels everywhere proud. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ayanna Banks, Carolina Week.
Tar Heel fans can check out Quinn and the rest of the swim team beginning mid-October. The UNC volleyball team started its ACC schedule in style after a couple of impressive wins. The team opened up the conference season against Georgia Tech in front of a large and enthusiastic crowd. Carolina started out slowly, dropping the first game 15-13 and 15-9, but Carolina fought back and showed why the Heels are the defending ACC champions. The Heels won the final 3 games 15-12, 15-3, and 15-10, taking the game 3 games to 2. Carolina also swept Clemson the day after the Tech match. Moving on to men's soccer action, the 10th-ranked Tar Heels hosted number 8 Virginia, a team the Tar Heels hadn't beaten in 5 previous tries. Carolina had plenty of chances early on and dominated the first half, including these 2 chances by Michael Busey, stopped by Wahoo keeper Kyle Singer. The Tar Heels would jump out to an early lead and go from Chris Gary to freshman Logan Paz to put Carolina up 1-0. The second half would be quite different, with the Cavaliers scoring twice in less than a minute and a half, including this go-ahead goal by Aleko Askandarian, giving UVA a 2-1 lead. Cavaliers added 1 more goal to win 3-1. UNC coach Elmer Bolovich says the Cavaliers dominated the second half.
And in the second half, Virginia decided to turn it up a notch, and we didn't find an answer for it. We made a couple of mistakes defensively that allowed them to get back into the game and then get one ahead, and certainly couldn't recover from that.
Well, when the men's soccer team takes on Duke this Friday night, it'll be the second match of the Carlisle Cup, which is a season-long competition between Duke and Carolina for a big golden urn involving 14 varsity sports.
Any additional reason to beat Duke is fine with me.
Yep, favorite rival.
I can handle it. Okay.
For some of us, beer and college go hand in hand.
We'll take you to a festival that's all about beer, coming up next.
Let your knowledge grow at the North Carolina Botanical Garden. Through public service, research, conservation, and education. The garden brings North Carolina's rich natural heritage to you. It's a beautiful way to learn.
I wonder how Silent Sam feels about guarding the university from groups of third-grade kids. Maybe he's lost interest. We haven't heard his rifle fire recently. Still he stands, a steadfast defender of something. What is it? No one knows the real Carolina like a student. Carolina Week, the student news show.
Whether you prefer lager, pale ale, or light, the World's Beer Festival promises to please even the most finicky beer connoisseurs. The festival took place at the historic Durham Athletic Park and gave beer drinkers the chance to taste more than 300 beers from all over the world. Festival goers were able to chat with representatives from more than 100 breweries, and there was even something for the designated drivers. The event showcased music from several artists, provided a variety of foods from local restaurants, and offered games and face painting. Although the weather was a bit yucky, those attending the festival found ways to enjoy the event despite the rain and mud.
Estes Hills Elementary School students are reaping the tasty results of their weekend work. Customers packed Great Harvest Bread Company recently as they waited for bread hot out of the oven and served fresh by students from Estes Hills. The school won a contest and the right to take over the bakery for a day. All proceeds went directly to Estes Hills, but money wasn't their only goal. Students, faculty, and parents came together to form relationships that extend beyond the classroom. The event raised more than $2,300 for Estes Hills. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to come back next week. And until then, have a good week.
Good night. If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-829-2 or carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions or concerns about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Grow at the North Carolina Botanical Garden. Through public service, research, conservation, and education. The garden brings North Carolina's rich natural heritage to you. It's a beautiful way to learn.
I wonder how Silent Sam feels about guarding the university from groups of third-grade kids. Maybe he's lost interest. We haven't heard his rifle fire recently. Still he stands, a steadfast defender of something. What is it? No one knows the real Carolina like a student. Carolina Week, the student news show.
To get a full-time job, we're losing ground.
We don't ever talk anymore.
Susan will be ready for college next year.
We used to be so close.
We make twice what we made 8 years ago. Now we have less to spend.
I think I'm going to leave you, dear.
Maybe we could sell one of the cars.
Family Counseling Service of Durham. We can help. Call 286-3757.
What services come to mind when you think of the American Red Cross?
The Red Cross does blood drives, don't they?
They help out with natural disasters.
Giving blood.
Tornadoes and hurricanes.
Blood.
Natural disasters.
I'll bet you didn't know that the American Red Cross also provides emergency services for military families and delivers health and safety instruction in first aid, lifeguard training, and CPR. Contact your local Red Cross chapter to learn more about the services they provide.